Good evening. Welcome to this week's episode of the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with the urban sensation C Red. Hello, Red. And joining us this week, our very special guest, our brand new commentator at Frontline Pro. This is Annie O'Neill. Hello, Annie.
Hello, Steve. How are you
This
feeling
is what
today?
you do wherever you are.
I
I, I
do.
I'm posting pictures, and I just
Yes.
there's just something about this that's inviting.
you
Is this
know,
something that you just do, or is it just part of your shtick?
there's never a point in time where someone's not watching you. So what are you doing with your hands? What are you doing with your face? Are you inviting like something like this? It attracts attention, and like I'm an announcer, so I feel like I see so many different performers. They have something trademarked that people just associate with their name. So it's like, hear my voice, right? If I if I have something to say, you're gonna listen. So um,
It's like you're shouting at the
exactly,
world,
exactly,
"Hello, I'm here."
exactly. Like my energy is undeniable. It's like it's almost gonna subconsciously slap you on the face. So I don't know.
I said in the promo post that you're one of the most exciting talents on commentary that I've seen in a while. And I've worked with some great commentators over the years.
Yeah.
C Red being one of my favorite commentator partners at Rocket Pro. Um, what I found interesting about you was watching you get a lay of the land at Frontline. And Red, she walked up to every fan in the arena before the show, introduced herself, and had conversations with all of them. By the end of the night, didn't matter what anybody else did, that house belonged to Annie. It was undeniable, as she said. I've never seen anybody do that, to be honest with you. So I thought that was incredibly inspiring.
And the fans are the whole reason why I'm able to be there in the first place. I just lucked out on using these inherent gifts that I have, but it's the people who come through the doors that make the whole experience that much larger than life. Like, I mean, I love watching people do their in-ring work, but if there's no one around there to witness it, then what's the point? And
If a tree
I
falls in the woods, does it make a sound?
it makes a vibration, and you have to have the auditory system possible to pick up that sound. But yeah, like um and that's how it's an emotional connection. It's really boring if there's only one side of it. So, and I get to meet so many different people that I wouldn't have the opportunity to meet if it was not for wrestling. And that in itself is a miracle. And I'm just fascinated by how easily connections can be made, and the orchestration of events that make it all possible. So, and when you project that energy, it finds you. This last Sunday, I was fortunate enough to make my um, debut in Ohio at a promotion called Championship International Wrestling, and I I didn't get the opportunity to go greet the fans like I usually like to before a show, but intermission, like all of these little girls, they just came flocking to me, and they wanted me to sign like their little card, and that's never happened to me before. But it's just it was just overwhelming that I'm in this place where these little girls want to look up to someone that they appreciate, that they want to emulate, and that's just it's awesome that it's me. So anytime I get the chance to shake hands and kiss the babies, like, no, it's RSV season, we don't do that, but
Use babies as drop kick machines at Frontline. So
I and I met that baby, by the way, and I
that
it was
baby's
an
there every
honor.
show.
That's awesome, and
I
maybe he'll end up doing.
still don't know about that baby. Anyway, is this the place where you became the big yellow banana?
No, that was the show I was at on that I do on Thursday nights. I do a weekly wrestling show out in New Baltimore, Michigan, at City Championship Wrestling. And there's this young girl, I believe her name is Abby, and she is the most interactive with the wrestlers in the ring that I've ever seen, and she's funny. So that's even better. Like you know a kid when they're not funny and you have to laugh at their jokes. You don't want to break their spirits. But she's hilarious. She got a whole room of people yelling blue pants guy because the wrestler was wearing blue pants. And it was hilarious. But I was wearing my iconic Annie O'Neill jumpsuit, and she lovingly referred to me as Banana Girl.
Banana
And
Girl.
I've
You got to live up to that now.
I don't know how, so I guess I just have to embrace the different fruit of the loom theme going on. So
Just you're blazing trails everywhere you go. Red, when she's wearing that yellow jumpsuit, she looks just like April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which makes me think that she would really enjoy our good friend Turtle, who's actually his gimmick is a Ninja Turtle, and he comes from the
that's
school.
amazing. That's
That would
amazing.
be pretty cool. What do you think, Red? You think that's a good idea? Let's get them two to. She could easily manage him, and people would totally love that shit. Can you imagine what that would do in Joliet?
He's already over, two over.
And that would blow the roof off the if
But how over is too
Uh,
over? It
there's no
really
such
such a
thing. And
thing.
Turtle,
That's what I'm saying. There's no such
we
thing.
can't understand. I mean, we many men and women tried to figure out why Turtle is so over at Rocket
Mhm.
Pro, and
Mhm.
even Nostradamus couldn't see this coming. It's the most organic thing I've ever seen. And Turtle has been doing this a long time. He's a
Mhm.
ref and wrestler, and he's been doing it a while. But he's always been looking for respect as a wrestler, never really had
Yeah.
it. And
True.
now he goes to Rocket Pro, and he is the biggest pop of the night every
That's
time.
amazing.
And I think it irritates some of the established stars. You got a lot of divas out there, and Turtle is just so over. It's
And you know what? It usually happens to the people like who are like, and they're just hiding in plain sight, and then all of a sudden they just stumble into something that's just absolutely fantastic, and they just pick
we're
it
gonna have to
all
find a way to get you to Joliet to come out to that show. We're gonna work on
up.
that. And
You
joining
open
us
that
now,
door, I'll walk through it.
I would that door will I'm gonna kick that shit open. I'm gonna kick it open. Joining us now, of course, is our lovely and talented co-host. No, it's not the Scarlet Witch. It is, of course, Cactus Rack. Hello, Cactus.
Hey girl, hey, forgive me. I have been stuck in horrendous traffic.
Oh no.
So I'm getting my bearings still. I came in and hopped right onto the Zoom.
Cactus, you are
Are
gonna love Annie. You are gonna love Annie, so pay attention.
are they rings with bears on them? Bear
I
rings?
wish. I
Oh, okay.
wish.
That's okay. I have maybe one day. We'll have to make it happen now.
Yeah.
Very cool. Um, so you're very busy. You've got a lot of promotions that you're working with. Um, how did you get here? That's a question we ask a lot. What got you into this business? What was that moment you had that you said, "I'm going to go do this"? Because you're like the Swiss Army knife of life. You do a great many things, inspirational, physical, and professional wrestling and such. So, how did wrestling become something you became obsessed with? Because you have to be obsessed to be any good.
You know what? I really do feel like wrestling is one of those things. Like the door, you don't just find any place. Like the door opens for you. Like it's someone you meet, and then that's how you get in. Well, I was dating someone who was a wrestler at the time, and then that didn't work out. But I actually befriended so many people in my community, and then I just showed up because I wanted to see a wrestling show, and then I loved being a part of the crew. Um, People wanted me there because I was helpful. I liked, um, I just really was. I was excited to be there. I wanted to see how things work. I wanted to see how my energy could be used toward, helping something amazing happen. Um, and then I just did that for a few years, and then a friend of mine was like, "You need to ring announce. Here's a microphone." And then it was like, "That's exactly what I need to do." And I actually have really bad anxiety. So, and I
Would
feel,
never know that by
I
dealing with
know,
you.
I know, right? I know, right? I do a lot of things to make the brain function, but I was really tired of living life from the sidelines, and I was just watching all of these other amazing people be successful, and then something engaged, and it's like, you know what? Why not me? Why not just do it? I can be terrified and like walk toward greatness at the same time because I had all of the opportunities, and all I had to do was just reach out. All I had to do was say yes. Uh, and then a friend of mine, he had Heel Fan News, which is on public access. And, we play for all of the 12 senior citizens watching. Love, love those senior citizens. Thank
Hey,
you.
they love you, I bet. I bet they
They
love you.
do. And then he had a show that just covered different things in independent wrestling. And they asked me to do an interview, and my first interview ever was with Isaiah Broner. Yep.
Solid.
Yeah, I'll have to send you that one. Like,
I'd like to see that. That's great.
oh
That's
man,
your first interview. That's a
ever,
little intimidating.
ever. All I had to do was act scared, pretend like I was gonna ask him a question, and then he peered down at me like, "You're gonna talk to me?" And then I backed out of the frame, and then he carried on the promo. So that's all I did. But
You did your job.
I did. I did it effectively because also I was terrified of being on camera. So that fear translated through very well.
Yeah. Nothing can prepare you for that first interview you do when you're just starting out. Anxiety is something that it's never really been something that I've dealt with it to a great
Sure.
degree. I mean, I get nerves and butterflies and all those things, but I never really affects me, faculty wise.
Hmm.
I interviewed Jimmy Hart. That was my first one, and
Wow. Yeah.
obviously, my thing was I didn't want to be a fanboy. I wanted to show an air of professionalism.
Sure.
Really hard when you're talking to the mouth of the South. You want to love him and say, man, you
Right.
impacted my wrestling journey. But different people handle things differently. I mean, C-Red did a great interview with Teddy Long, right, Red? C-Red has heat with Teddy Long. We never let him forget about it. So you're ring announcing, and
Hmm.
what do you like about that? What is unique about that makes you love to do it? Because I've seen photos and I've seen video. You're very good at it. A bad ring announcer can really hurt a show, and I don't think people understand how important a good one can be.
No. Well, you know what? I am the first one who comes through the curtain. I set the tone. I really do contribute to the flow of the show. If I am, angry and I walk out there like I'm hating my life, then that's going to sour the rest of the show for everyone else. I like that people have to listen to me. That is probably my favorite thing. Um, I have the microphone in my hand. You're going to listen to what I have to say. But one of my favorite things about being a ring announcer is like energy transference. Like I'm just fascinated with how I feel affects someone else, and what I bring to the table. It really changes the frequency in the room. It really does, uh, and that's never been more truer than this past weekend, where like I really wanted to walk out of that curtain and that room full of new people and just be like, "Hi world, I'm Annie. This is what I'm about. You are going to match my energy and we're going to have some fun. You don't have a choice." So But just the way I announced this person, and then because I knew how I wanted just to project that feeling to someone else. Like I wanted to give someone that step that they needed to rise to that next level. Like it's all about elevating each other to me. Like because without my presence there, it would be a totally different experience. But after the show, he comes up to me and he's like, "Wow, that was so much fun. Thank you. Like I felt amazing out there." And just being able to contribute to that is just really cool. So
That's pretty cool. And you know, and that's a natural progression, ring announcing into commentary. Red, you heard her talk about ring announcing and you know getting into it and drawing from a crowd from a man that is essentially an expert at drawing reactions from crowd. What is your reaction to what she just said?
She's doing everything right. I mean, I love the fact that she understands that she is she sets the tone for the show. So if regardless whether you're on, I mean, and you know this just by what we do at Rocket Pro, if we come out and we just walk out there like, okay, we're here. Like if we walk out there like Blackburn, like,
Well, when you walk out to the ring, it's like Soul Train's following you. I feel like you're a modern day Don Cornelius.
hey, it's my 2 seconds of fame. Um, but I mean, so she
You make a
understands.
giant white man like myself dance, and that's not a very easy thing to do, not even at weddings. So congratulations there. Nobody really wants to see it either. You should probably stop it.
no,
Uh,
that makes me want to see it and
Nobody wants
provoke
to.
it and provoke
Nobody
it.
wants to see
Yeah.
that at all. Um, our own Cactus Rack is a performer. She is a roller derby superhero.
Oh, that's cool.
Cactus, what listening to Annie talk about performance and drawing reactions from fans, you are incredibly gifted when it comes to that. If you are there, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm here. No, I could relate to setting the tone because I am the narrator specifically for Rogue Wrestling Entertainment out
Cool.
here. So it's kind of like a D&D style kind of thing.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
there was like there was kind of, I don't want to say like a blow up, but there's a little snafu between me and Andy about my appearance at the beginning.
Sure.
And I said the exact same thing to him as I'm setting the tone
Right.
for the show. When I walk out there, I am giving people an indication of what they're going to be seeing.
Right.
So I have to have a moment when I come through the curtain. I have to give people a taste of what they're going to experience because it really is even though you seem to appear to have such a meaningful,
yes,
like part of it, you are a huge part of setting the tone and keeping the tone going throughout the entire show, no matter what is happening. So I
100%.
totally relate to that.
And one thing I really like to do, like even though like it's the show is not centered around me, I'm an integral part, but I start a lot of chants. I get people going like I'm very expressive. So
Yeah.
when someone is like, "Oh my God," like I get
Yeah.
them to react because, and also, I am a liaison between the crowd and what goes behind the curtain, what goes on behind the curtain. And so, and a lot of people, it's their first time. So they don't know what the heck to do. They don't know what to do with their hands.
I appreciate that so much because I
Mhm.
cannot tell you how many times I'm at a show and like,
Mhm.
you know how you after you've watched wrestling for a long time, you just know when to clap and when to do everything.
Yes.
And
Right.
I'm usually the loudest voice. And
Yes.
I'm also starting chants. I'm also clapping like really loudly to let everyone know this is what you do. Like the people that do that are so imperative
Oh my
to
God.
keeping it going.
Oh my God. They
Because
have.
the last thing you want is a completely dead crowd.
I can't tell you how many times like people have just perceive me as someone who just reads names off of cards, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Exactly.
So thank you for making me feel so seen, Cactus Rack.
Oh
Thank
yes,
you.
even though I am not on camera, I see through to your soul.
You. Thank you. Thank you.
Well played indeed. You now want to be, you're now branching out into the commentary part of this business. What about commentary made you want to make this jump?
Well, I wanted the opportunity to do something I've never done before. I have a lot of things to say, and I know how to say them well. And I can't imagine what watching a sport on TV would be like without commentary. Like, there's always someone new just tuning in, and they don't know what the heck's going on. What if they've never seen professional wrestling? Like, they're not gonna know what a swanton is and why that's cool, or they're not gonna understand why this guy wants to fight that guy, or this girl wants to, clock that other girl. Like, it's elemental. It's an incredibly important to a wrestling production. It really is. So I just wanted to see how I could, do something different that I've never done before. And I I just was graced with the opportunity of being the first woman to do that at Frontline Pro, and someone the right people were tuning into what I was putting out there, and they believed in me to do so, and it was awesome that I was able to pull it off. So
it was a pretty impressive debut. That much is true. Had you not done commentary up to that point?
Correct.
So that was your first show
ever. First show ever.
There are so many commentators over the years that I've worked with.
Yeah.
That, on their best day, having been in the business for a while, did not kind of shine like you did. It was pretty impressive. So getting there in the building, being first time doing commentary, that had to have been a shot at the anxiety right there, right?
Honestly, no, because I was in a room full of strangers. They didn't know what I was capable of. They don't know what my flaws are. They don't know where my shortcomings are. So there was no expectation. I could have been completely horrible and no one would have known the difference because, oh, hey, it's our first time at commentary.
That's fair.
But honestly, yourself and Chris Lockman made it so easy just to pick up the ball and run with it. Because all I had to do was just put words to what my eyes were seeing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. I like commentary because we get to be part of the storytelling. Working with Red at Rocket Pro Wrestling, he has for many years been one of the ultimate storytellers. You get him on this show and you bring people on that he has worked with over the years. You get stories and you're riveted by them. When he's on commentary, he gets behind the scenes. He gives you a different look at what's happening, which is what makes him so good at it. And everybody has a different style. His style is one way, your style is certainly another way. But I feel like commentary, is undervalued in many places. It's kind of an extra thing. But, when you're on IWTV and when you're on Fight TV and you're on YouTube, they're seeing the wrestlers perform, but at every match, in every screen and everything, they're hearing you. Right. So that's pretty important because when they think of Rocket Pro or when they think of Frontline Pro, they think of our voices because we're kind of shepherding them along the way through the show. And I think that's we're still looked at kind of as ancillary pieces to a certain extent in many places, maybe not everywhere. Ben has got Ben values us, I think, more than just about anybody else that I work with, by the way he conducts himself. I feel very lucky to work where I work because everybody values me pretty well. But Ben's got a very interesting way of looking at the world. And I think that's why he was so excited to bring you on. Number
Mhm.
one, there just aren't a whole lot of female commentators out there, at least not on the mainstream.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that is, I mean, that's important because, I mean, I'm thinking about across the Midwest and places in between. I certainly know Vita Scott very
Mhm.
well. She's very good at it, but
Mhm.
there aren't many that names don't really come to you off the top of your head other than her. Do you feel like this is an opportunity for you to show that this is a job for anybody?
Absolutely. One thing I feel like that is critical to my function as a human being is breaking barriers. Going where there is no path and leaving a trail. Um, and it's important to at least try. Why not? I've come this far. What else am I capable of? And it really it's really not made possible unless there are people like yourself who are like, hey, why not try something different? Why not give this opportunity for this person? So first of all, we have to work alongside people who feel like that vision could be made possible. I don't know if this was the case 20 years ago. I don't know if and there's still a lot of progress that has to be made for, I feel like, women to get even more opportunities that they truly deserve. You know, patterns are changing. Traditions they're not the same. So there's a lot more space being made for talented people, no matter who they are, no matter their orientation, their physical manifestation. It's about the character. It's about the work ethic. Um, I feel like I have so much to prove, and one thing I have to my advantage is I'm persistent and I listen. I'm coachable, and those are really easy things that allow me to be distinguished. And it's kind of funny because I am fortunate enough to have opportunities like this, and I feel like people are looking at me by the wayside, and they're like, how did you get that? Well, I just spend my time doing the things that can make me better. And that alone, I feel like, makes me stand out. And it's, I'm willing to do the bare minimal things that people could do to have the same opportunities. But yeah.
That is that's very refreshing. And boy, I'm just gonna let Cactus Rack have a few moments because you just threw pitches right in her wheelhouse. Why
Cool.
she's alive to advocate. So Cactus Rack, take it away. Give me your thoughts on what Annie just said.
Well, Stephen, had you been paying attention to your messages, you would have known I wasn't able to pay attention because everyone in my house is acting like we're at a carnival right now.
I don't often look at the. There we go. All right. So, I tend to focus. I'm sorry.
I did hear you say that you're very coachable.
Yes.
I did hear that.
We were talking about opportunities for women in this industry, and she's talking about being a trailblazer, getting up, doing things, going to places and blazing her own trail.
Oh yeah, what I'm gonna say is if you go to Rocket Pro, make sure they fucking pay you.
Sure.
Been there twice.
Anyway,
never paid. What's good, Shelley's?
Anyway, we're just gonna edit that out.
I identify as a fucking problem, clearly.
You do identify as a problem, and it's most often
clearly. So
love it.
No, but I get it. I completely get it. Yeah, I grew up wanting to be a professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up in roller derby as a way to make kind of amends with myself that I wasn't going to be a professional wrestler.
Okay.
And then I ended up in the professional wrestling of roller derby. And thereby ended up in professional wrestling. And I will say that I've done commentary and I've done announcing.
Mm-hmm.
And the lack of women and femmes in these spaces is very disappointing. And And when you are there, like the way you get treated is often not, it's not cute. It's not
Nope.
cute.
No. People
So
think I don't have ears and that I don't listen.
exactly.
Mm,
So I just want you to keep doing what you are doing.
thank you.
Keep blazing that path
I
and
appreciate that.
don't let anybody not pay you.
No, no, I can't allow that anymore. I cannot.
Yeah,
I cannot.
do not do it.
No.
Yeah,
I'll be
because she was
holding you to
also
it from
talking
afar.
about doesn't matter, male, female, whatever your orientation is, whatever your preferences are. And I think that's something that you have been advocating as long as I've known you.
Who, me? Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to
Oh,
put it
Hazel
down.
has entered. Sorry, Hazel has entered the room. I am now being given my dinner. This is how far off course I am tonight. Hazel, do you want to say hello to Steve and Red and Annie?
Yeah. Hello.
Say
Hello, Mothra. How are you?
I'll go on camera for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Hazel.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What's
Are you
up?
getting, are you getting ready to kick ass?
Yeah, she's getting ready to go play Pal World with Andrew.
No, I'm gonna watch King of the Hill.
Oh, King of the Hill with Andrew. Okay, I'm going back off
That's where they
camera.
get
now.
it. That makes a lot of sense now. Now I'm starting to pick up on some things about those two.
Yeah, that's their life. Video games and King of the Hill, and sometimes Bob's Burgers.
I love me some Bob's Burgers.
It is the best.
So much.
Andrew and I are basically the physical manifestation of Bob and Linda.
That's amazing.
So it's true.
Why not?
It's true.
Why
We're
not?
bonding over here, Steve. I don't know if you should be afraid of that or not.
I am not
Yeah.
afraid because I feel like Cactus cannot have enough friends
Cool.
that have her vibe.
Sure.
She's one of the most unique people that I've ever met, and I find your uniqueness and her uniqueness very similar in many
Sure.
ways. So
I've
I'm
sent you a
hoping
friend
guys-
request.
I
Yeah,
feel
So,
I feel
so
like
it's
there's
in your
a
inbox.
Accepted.
kinship between you two because I have this whole thing where you guys are sharing the same energy in many, many ways,
Fair.
which is great. So Frontline, you got your first show under your belt. After it was over and you had a chance to think about it, how did you feel about your performance?
Honestly, it felt very natural. It felt like I've been doing it a lot longer than I actually have, and that was really strange. But, I host 2 podcasts. I constantly talk to people about their experiences. And so it's just kind of doing the same thing, only in a different way.
That's fair.
And one of the biggest things that I was most apprehensive was not being very familiar with storylines, but you both made it so easy. So I feel like there was really no danger of all of these things I thought were going to go wrong in my head. So like,
we're just one big family, and we're
yeah,
able to carry each other, through the tough times and celebrate the good times. That's the
Right.
way we do it, and that's a joy about this business. Something that I've always found interesting, and we'll talk
Mhm.
more about Frontline in a few moments.
Mhm.
Your jujitsu background.
Yes.
My quasi brother-in-law is a jujitsu guy as well.
Cool.
So I have a bit of familiarity with what's going on. How did you get into that, and what brought you to where you are now? Because you're an extremely impressive physical specimen when it comes to that
Thank you.
kind of sport. So how did you get there?
Well, it found me in the dead of COVID, actually. I lost my dad a few months before actually finding it. And I needed something positive that I could do with my time and something that I would only benefit in. And he loved kung fu movies, he loved action movies. So I really wanted to do something that would allow me to still be connected to my dad after he passed. So it was just this beautiful way of using my body in a way that I never did before, and really relinquishing myself of the heaviness of the grief that comes with a loss. And I feel like that's not how my dad wanted me to spend my time. So I wanted to do something purposeful. Um, and you know, I as much as I love professional wrestling, there was my time where I thought I was going to step between the ropes. But so much of it is so all consuming. It's Professional wrestling is one of those strange worlds where like you're this person all the time, and you don't like clock out. Like you're in it day and night. So I needed at least some type of like discipline between the two. So and it could be the professional wrestling business can be very toxic. So I wanted to do something, and while just um, you know honing my craft. So I got the best of both worlds. I got the grappling, and I get to announce. So it was just a great way to marry the two. Um, but I've been at it for 4.5 years now. So it's crazy just how much time flies. Um, and just what I'm able to do when I apply the laws of physics in a human body, and someone like I'm not a big person. I'm not big by any means, but it's really interesting to see what you are capable of in high intense situations. So um, it's just really cool. Like just this morning, like I I scored a takedown on someone who was 225, someone way bigger than me, and it was just timing and luck, really. So, kind of gave you an ADHD answer, but
Hey, we'll take any answer.
absolutely.
So you're a
I mean, you're getting
competitive-
ADHD questions, so.
Said that
Fair.
remark.
And I also wanted to say I sympathize. My dad also died literally the day before everything shut down.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I really sympathize, and I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We had a very rough connection, but um, when something like that happens, I don't know, you put a lot of things into perspective. Like, do I want to be angry? What do I want to do? How do I want to carry this? But jiu-jitsu was just that means of me, um, moving on and doing something that I wanted to do. So, and why not? So many things changed during COVID. So life is short. Why not do the things that you love? So,
Amen.
We all learned a lot of lessons during COVID. That much
yeah.
is true. Red, we've all lost parents here. You talk about your situation often. What did you hear in what Annie was saying that relates to you?
She handled it well. Uh, my dad passed away. I didn't have anything to put my focus into outside of life.
Sure.
I couldn't I never had time to grieve. So
Yeah.
I if you wasn't paying attention, all the bumping over here, Mama Red decided to come downstairs.
Uh-oh.
Right.
She didn't try to do that again, did she?
No, but it was like, you see what we're doing, and I'm like, fall down the stairs if you want to tonight. Go ahead. All right. This will be interesting. This is made for TV. So I mean, I love the fact that, she, it's funny because she said her dad loved kung fu movies. And instantly in my head, I keep seeing Mr. Miyagi. Whoa.
My dad was a big fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I'll never forget that scene in Bloodsport and his awful dancing. Like, who let that man go on camera like that? Who?
Hey.
secondhand embarrassment from that. Oh,
That was a
So
different time. Movies were
was.
different back in those days.
I know.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was pretty cool for a little while, as was
Until
Steven
he did
Seagal.
that.
Not so much now, but back in the day. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I've already been dated in our chat this afternoon. Apparently, I'm old man Ben Stiller. But I'll get someone's gonna get the ass kicked. But that's a whole other thing. Lockman. But anyway, so competitive jujitsu, that's a difficult thing. How often do you compete?
I don't compete, but I train. I train twice a week. It would be more, but my career in wrestling is just taking off. So, balance is a good thing. So, but I train twice a week. I go to the gym as many times a week as I can while trying to sleep at some point.
They say you'll sleep when you're dead, but I would much rather sleep a few times when I'm alive.
But I as much as I love jujitsu, it is this beautiful art form that I just adore. Competition, it's very high stakes, very and if you compete regularly, you have to train more than I'm able to. So, and competition kind of takes what is supposed to be fun to me and relaxing, and simulating murder. I can say that, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I don't want to
Probably
get you kicked
accurate,
off.
so I'm right. Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
want to get you kicked off of YouTube or anything, but
YouTube and
or
I are
whatever.
buds. We're all right.
Okay, cool.
I don't think enough people watch us that YouTube much of a shit what we do, to be honest with you. But
Sure.
that's a story for another time, perhaps. But I get that, and wrestling really is taking off for you. So now that you're the ringing out, well, let's talk about your podcasts because I
Sure.
think that's pretty important too. Tell the kids where they can find Annie and her Raw Talk.
Oh, I on Wednesdays we do a Raw review.
Raw review.
It is the Raw deal with House and O'Neill, and I do that with my co-pilot Alakon, the Concept House. He's absolutely fantastic. And then I do my own podcast, which is Bumping and Thumping, and we release weekly on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, I just it's an indie spotlight for people in the Midwest, who just want to talk to me, and we just go one on one, and it's just a lot of fun.
Bumping and pumping. That's pretty
Mhm.
cool. Now when you do the Raw podcast with your
Mhm.
partner, do you guys mainly cover what's going on in the WWE, or do you go to all points in between?
Yeah, we do Raw specifically, but anything that comes up, we'll talk about. We do NXT. We talk about SmackDown because it's different brands, same umbrella. So what it goes over here occurs all over here. So
yeet.
yeet, yeet, exactly.
So on your past week's episode of the show, what was the topic of conversation?
Well, we talked a lot about the show in Saudi Arabia, the Crown Jewel. We talked a lot about how the women's division is just taking off, and it's just amazing to see. And I think WWE watches our show because so many of the things that we say or predict, they're happening, and it's kind of weird. So I don't know. I mean, I would absolutely love to take credit for that, but who knows? Who knows if correlation proves causation? Not typically, but we say things and they happen.
You're like the Nostradamus for the WWE. When they want ideas, they come to you.
I'm saying, I like, just give me a job. I'll accept.
As you should. That's the pinnacle of wrestling existence, as
Absolutely.
some say. We actually have some WWE people that watch our
Mhm.
show. The chef, Primo Chef. He does
Mhm.
the catering at the United Center. He's a member of the WWE. He watches our show, so
Yeah.
pretty good about that. And he makes a hell of a buffet. So shout out to Primo. We love you. So now that you've got your podcast and you've got your ring announcing, and now you're taking over the world of commentary, what's next? What haven't you done that you want to do? Next year the brand new year is coming up, 2025, and you are poised for liftoff. Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself?
You know, I'm in a season where it's all about what can't I do. So if, the inspiration strikes, I'm just going to do it. No questions asked. Because one thing about me is repetition, repetition, repetition. If I don't know, I won't stop until I do. But right now, I think acting might be on the horizon. I was one of those people in high school. I was a wallflower who didn't really have the self-confidence to do the things that she wanted. So the second half of my life is devoted to doing everything I never thought I could. But acting appeals to me because I am such an emotive person, and I put myself in situations intentionally to see how I'd feel. And I'm just that person. I feel like I could lend myself empathetically to someone, and really make a role come to life. So I do it in one way. I bring people to greater emotions, or I elevate their emotions. So why not see what I could do in a different capacity?
So do you have anything that you're working towards as far as, I mean, are you going to go to Hollywood and kind of be an extra till you get that discovery, and next thing you know, you're on the reboot of Friends?
No, but I have a funny habit of making things happen. I'm one of those people who are seen at the right time, but I think I would like to try like community theater, just to find or pick up a role and just see where it will take me. It's all about who you know, and I'm a big believer of 6 degrees of separation. So I'm really good at being at the right place at the right time. So I'm here.
That I can
I'm
I can
right
certainly
place,
attest to
right
that.
time.
And speaking of being in the right place at the right time, we will both be in the right place at the right time this Saturday as Frontline Pro presents the Freedom Cup. And we both get to bask in the glory that is Kurt Angle. How do you feel about that? I mean, your second commentary show, you're working with one of the greatest performers in the history of the business.
Honestly, I'm feeling a little emotional here. I feel I have a heart full of gratitude because um, I want to be in the places of greatness. I really felt like a different version of me was created the night I was gifted the opportunity to sit alongside you and Chris. Um, I put myself up for the challenge, and I felt like magic was made. And I'm honored to be even in the same room as someone of Kurt Angle. So it was funny. I actually met him I encountered him at the Arnold a few years ago. I turned around in an aisle, and behind me there's Kurt Angle. So that was really cool. So it almost feels a bit serendipitous that one leg of my life I saw him at the Arnold, and then in this chapter, I get to be on a show with him.
And that's pretty cool. And do you have a favorite Kurt Angle moment? Because I'm going to ask everybody that's on the show tonight to give me their favorite Kurt Angle moment. So we'll start with you. What in the career that has been Kurt Angle's, what is a moment that made you go, "Wow, this guy's amazing"?
I do have a background as a martial artist, someone who wants to see what she's capable of on a mat, and overcoming injury is something that's never easy. It's scary. It's quite frightening at sometimes. So, um, overcoming those obstacles, like in the 1996 Olympics, he freestyled wrestled with a broken neck.
No, not just a broken neck, a broken freaking neck.
Freaking neck.
broken freaking neck. And like, I don't think Kurt Angle, he's just your everyday human being. He's cut from a different cloth. And I'm constantly trying to see what I'm made of. And people like that make me feel like anything is possible. So I'm just like, I want to see like where that mindset resonates from. Like I want to see how he thinks, how he feels, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to do just that.
That's amazing. How about you, Red? What's your favorite Kurt Angle moment?
I don't have a favorite moment. I think it was just Kurt. During that era, where he and Austin
Are you talking
related
about
to
the
each
milk
other,
truck
but
era?
no, it was the comedy era.
Oh,
Him
okay.
with the little cowboy hat, and, just doing stupid shit like that. You know, that, and then when he helped create the Main Event Mafia, I was a fan. So but not particular matches. So
That's cool. Hey, I mean that's awesome anyway. Those are great moments. What about you, Cactus? Any Kurt Angle moments?
As someone who engages in a lot of slapstick comedy myself, the milk truck. The milk truck is hands down my favorite moment, especially because Kurt Angle is the type of that was the type of personality that I did not give a shit about when I was 12, 13 years old. So he definitely, the fact that he could make me laugh as hard as he did, and especially with that milk truck moment, will be forever emblazoned in my memory.
I use that gift quite often.
Yeah.
That's amazing. For me, it was the moment of ruthless aggression. Uh, the match between him and John Cena. It was a moment for me because, you don't usually get established superstars doing something like putting over someone that's new. And that night, he made John Cena look like $1 million. Now, John Cena, of course, obviously went to do great things and will be regarded as one of the best of all time as well. But I don't think John Cena catches on and becomes half of what he did without that moment, him stepping in the ring at the Kurt Angle Open Challenge and saying ruthless aggression, and then kicking Kurt Angle's ass all over the ring for 10 minutes because everybody was bewildered that Kurt Angle was getting his ass kicked by someone nobody had ever heard of before. And I just thought then when I got into the industry, I got to know, how everything worked. I was a fan back then. So I'm just thinking, God, this John Cena guy must just be this badass. But then when I got into the business and I started to talk to veterans, when they would get into matches with young up and coming stars and they would not acquiesce to them, they would give them a little bit of a shine, but they would never appear weak on purpose because they didn't want to damage their character. Well, Kurt Angle didn't give a shit. He was out there to put over John Cena, and that's one of the great moments in wrestling history to me. So when I interview Kurt Angle on Saturday, I want to talk to him about that because I want to know what made him do that. Because when you're established and you're a millionaire in the business,
Vince, shit, that's what made him do it.
well, I know that, but not everybody does it. I mean, how many times did you see Triple H and Shawn Michaels not give a shit going to
When you
business?
go to work and your boss says, "This is what you got to do
It's
today,"
a normal job, but not always in wrestling. They don't always do it. They don't always do it the way he did it.
tell me when you think about it. You work for Vince. That's it. That's the bottom line. It don't matter what you want to do. If Vince
That's fair.
wants to put this kid over, hey, you put this kid over tonight.
There's putting a kid over, and then there's Kurt Angle putting over John Cena.
No, because Kurt Angle was not of the stature like Undertaker or anybody of that.
I think he was at that point.
No, the Undertaker is the top of the fucking heap.
Well, I understand that, but Kurt Angle
And
was
understand there,
established.
everybody there. Kurt was respected, but he was not in that situation where he can say, not tonight, Vince, maybe tomorrow. No, Kurt was never in that. He was never in the boys club. Let's put it like
That's fair. I agree to disagree. But anyway, that's my favorite moment. And going back to Freedom Cup, is there a match, Annie, that you're feeling especially excited to see? I mean, we've got the cup, we've got some amazing matches in the Freedom Cup, and that is going to be high octane stuff. Jake Parnell versus Cal Hero. Gringo Loco and Joey Jet Avalon might be the match of the night. And then you've got Quinn Whittick versus Skits and Shaq Jordan versus Congo Kong. I mean, it's like the 27 Yankees. It's Murderers Row in the Freedom Cup. What are your thoughts on that?
The match I'm probably looking forward to the most would be Shaq Jordan and Congo Kong. I've seen what Congo Kong is capable of in a ring time and time again. And I've seen him flatten people out like they're the last little bit of toothpaste in the tube of toothpaste. I've seen it. He is the Osiris Congo Kong. But Shaq Jordan, I feel like he is one of those incredible human beings. It doesn't matter how high the feet is stacked above him. He will do what it takes to rise to that height, and he will overcome it. So I can't wait to see. It's almost like Herculean feat, and Congo Kong, he is that Titan. So what kind of outcome will we have? And there's only one way to find out, and that's to be there.
That's right. Who's your pick to win the Freedom Cup?
Wow.
8 great superstars. All 8 of them could win. All 8 of them could win. But who does Annie think is going to win?
I mean, I know Shaq Jordan won it last year. He still holds that crown. But that competition is very, very, very fierce. I think Quinn Whittock will be a huge front runner, if anything. I feel like if I were to put my money on Quinn Whittock, I think he would do very well.
Quinn Whittock is certainly a sensational pick. I find Joey Jet Avalon to be one of those people that could beat anybody there. And as much as I'd like to pick him, I just can't pick somebody that hates me. So I think of all these people, Shaq Jordan, the generational treasure, Congo Kong, as you just said, Gringo Loco, who I have seen do things that defy gravity. Quinn Whittock, Sexy Violence, the Architect of Cocaine. If you know, you know. Cal Hero, Skits. My eyes always come back to a man I know better than I want to know. And that is Warhorse Jake Parnell.
Mm-hmm.
Number 132 in Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You don't get to the point where you're about to crack the Hot 100 if you're not one of the best people lacing up boots today. So as much as I would love to see anybody else win, something just tells me the man that believes in nothing is going to walk home with everything. What about you, Red?
I want to see somebody beat Congo. I don't think it's gonna happen.
You think someone's going to beat Congo, or that's
I don't think somebody's gonna beat.
But what about your nephew? What about Shaquille?
Squashed like a bug.
What?
Jack sometimes watches this show. I mean, he watches tonight, but sometimes he watches.
Okay, and if you've ever watched Congo Kong climb his big ass to the top rope and do a fucking somersault,
I have.
let Shaq be under that.
All right, so
he can immediately go into the tag team match because it'd be 2 of them.
There. All right, so Annie's got Quinn. Red's got Congo. I've got Warhorse. What about you, Cactus?
It's gonna be Shaq Jordan. Like, I don't know why anybody chose anybody else. Are you silly? Are you people? You people are silly.
Yes, I'm
I
a
just
silly
don't know
goose.
if Shaquille can do it 2 times in a row.
I think he can, and I think betting. Don't shake your head, Red. Don't shake your head.
She must have not seen Congo Kong in real life.
I haven't, but but I have seen Shaq Jordan in real life
She
many
has.
times.
She
I think
hasn't seen.
Shaq's her son.
No, Shaq is not my son. Only Russell's my son.
Russell, after what happened
Because
to
God damn it, he needs a mother outside of his house. I don't know how
what
he
Russell
functions.
did at Wrestle League, he should
Uh-uh.
not be related to you anymore. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Wait,
All right,
what'd you
couple
say?
more matches. We only have Annie for a short time, so a couple more matches, Annie. The creator, Ben McCoy, taking on Josh Price. Now, it's okay here. You're in a safe space. The creator can't get to you here. You can have an opinion. You don't have to vote for Ben. Who do you think is going to walk out of Freedom Cup as the champion?
Well, I think it's going to be the creator, Ben McCoy, on a stipulation. On a stipulation. With the help of the dastardly Rapture. As much as Josh Price deserves to walk out of that match, the champion, I feel like Ben McCoy, he has an iron grip on that belt. And he will do whatever it takes to retain.
I respect that opinion very much. And you say the help of the Rapture, and we have seen that every stage of the game. And Josh Price got a blow Sunday night with what happened with Kid Lat. So his partner will not be at Freedom Cup because for those of you that don't know, Kid Lat broke his arm Sunday night at Wrestle League. It was a terrible injury. It was a terrible moment. I'm still scarred from it. That poor kid busts his ass and deserves better. He'll be back at some point, and it'll be one of the greatest comebacks in history. But there are so many. You never want to wish karma on anybody, but there are so many other people. I don't want to wish anybody on that, but I just feel like of all the people this could happen to, he is the one that you would least likely want to see something like this happen to because he is such a genuinely good person.
Mm-hmm.
So Kid Lat might watch this. Maybe he won't. He's got a little time on his hands now. So Kid Lat, if you're watching, we love you. Rest easy, recover, and then come back and remind us why you're the best superhero on the block. That's hard to say. I didn't enjoy any of that, but let's move on. I think.
You know what's even greater than the setback, Steve?
What's greater than the setback?
The comeback.
The comeback, the return of Lat. It will happen at some point, and Lat Mania will be reborn stronger than ever. I will never pick Ben McCoy, especially against a man like Josh Price, who never lost the title. Got hurt, had the title taken, and now he's finally got a chance to get it back. So I don't care if the entire Rapture +2 shows up. No one is going to get this opportunity away from the wrecker. My pick is Josh Price. What about you, Red? Josh or the creator?
You picking simply based on your feelings.
Yes.
There's
yes,
one word. Everybody
I'm very emotional this
me.
month.
Everybody say it with me. We say it every week. 1, 2, 3. Shenanigans.
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 Rapture shenanigans. Come on now.
Shenanigans.
He had to pull shenanigans to beat me and Marsha. He had to pull shenanigans to get the tag titles. Do you not think? And I guarantee you, he's going to get his ass beat from pillar to post. I'm not disagreeing with that, Steve. But shenanigans. There it is. It's always there. Right around the corner. Up around the bend. Right under the porch. And guess what? Shenanigans. And then you're going to sit there and say, Red was right. And of course, I'm right.
Red, I might not stay at commentary this time. They keep picking on me and they keep poking the bear. Maybe just maybe at Freedom Cup. You never know. But we're not going to let the numbers game beat Josh Price. That much I can promise you. What about you, Cactus? Who do you think wins, the creator or the wrecker?
I am using quotation marks when I say the creator.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, real quick. We've got the tag team titles. Corey McHenry, EJ Swanson taking on the Crapture. Yeah, don't really have anything good to say about Aaron Xavier and my good friend Viking
We
Chris.
already know that it's going to be Corey McHenry and EJ Swanson.
I'd like to believe that.
We already know that. You want to know why? Because EJ Swanson went to the same high school I did, and we are infused with winning.
That's fair. Annie, how do you see this going?
I'm not going to say my choice because I want to, but it's because the pattern doesn't lie, Steve. And I feel like EJ Swanson and his tag team partner, well, they're gonna go the distance. They're going to put on an incredible match, and I feel like some shenanigans will ensue with the ref when they have the pinfall to their advantage, and somehow, in some way, I feel like the Rapture might get the win. I feel like they might retain.
That's unfortunate to say the least.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying it's unfortunate.
I like being right, but I want to be wrong.
You guys are going to drive me tonight to go binge watch Hallmark Christmas movies because
No. I'm so sorry. I'm so
sad
sorry.
right now about this whole thing. Red, what about you? Corey and EJ or the Crapture?
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Thanks, Mike.
She just said it all. I don't
Yes,
need
she
to say
did.
nothing. She told you what was going. As soon as she said shenanigans, see, that was the end of it.
All right, so this is Frontline Pro's Freedom Cup. Kurt Angle is going to be the host. He's going to kick off the cup. He's going to, I believe he's going to be involved in either kicking off the show or announcing the Bakerville Brawl that's going to be part of that show, the big battle royal for the new belt. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff happening at Freedom Cup with Kurt Angle as our special guest. Annie and I will be there. So should you be. Annie, you have given us 12 minutes extra time today, and we are very grateful for your time. Tell the kids how they can see your podcasts.
Well, we are live on Facebook and any streaming platform on Wednesdays. That is the Raw Deal with House and O'Neill. We just chop it up and talk about everything that is going on Raw, and especially right before the big pay-per-views. I do Bumping and Thumping, and that drops on Facebook and YouTube. Type in Mize TV on your little keyboard, and hit that subscribe button, and that's how you can watch my podcast. So,
well, there you go. Annie, it's been a joy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule tonight to hang with us. We hope we'll have you back again someday so we can talk a little bit more about you and a little bit more about your experiences Frontline.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. That's Annie O'Neill. Catch her at Frontline. Catch her all over the place. She's in many states, including a state of inspiration. Thank you, Annie. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Saturday.
Bye, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
All right, that is the incomparable Annie O'Neill. What'd you guys think of her? Her first commentary gig, and she fucking owned that shit. It was pretty impressive.
Well, she's got the confidence. So
she's pretty well spoken too, don't you think?
You seem genuinely astonished at how many well-spoken people there are in the world.
I am, because I have worked with many people that are
like
not.
Every time someone's on the show, the first thing you say is, you are just so well-spoken.
All I can say is when I don't have to do everything and force everything and the conversation flows naturally, I will take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And she made that easy. It was fun back and forth banter, and these are the easy ones, and I'll do these till I'm dead. There's some shows I want to be dead, don't want to do them till I'm dead, but this one exceptional. She's going to be a great commentator, and there should be more women commentators. I think a lot of places would benefit from it. So I hope she has a long and successful career. Looking forward to working with her and Chris Lockman this Saturday at Freedom Cup. Ben is not going to win. I'm going to see to it. One way or another, the shenanigans Red speaks of will not be happening. Now, I know, Cactus, you're probably looking to get out of here.
Not particularly, but if you
Okay,
want me
good.
to go, I'll leave.
I'll leave. No, because I don't. Before you go, I want to talk roller derby, but I don't want you to be gone before we talk about it.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about your son.
Yes. What has my son done now?
And the mess he made of his life at Wrestle League on Sunday. So it was the big.
Did he break Lat's arm?
No, he didn't. They weren't even in the same match. Lat's injury was a complete freakish thing. And the moment
Andrew tried to replicate it for me, and I could not understand what happened.
Yeah,
so.
it's one of those things that it's a 1 out of 1,000 occurrences. It's not something that it's just bad luck, wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. So obviously, it was just, when I heard about it, I was just like, because we didn't actually see the injury. They played that match off, and he wrestled with it because it happened early on in the match. And being the pro that he is, he finished the match. But at the end, Adonis came out for a save, and you would think Lat would have come out as well, and he didn't. So at that moment, I knew something happened. And I had a sick feeling in my stomach. And then when I walked backstage, I was not prepared that he was being carted away by the paramedics. And as the ambulance drove away, I'm walking to my car, and his dad was in his car because his mom, went in the ambulance with him. And the look on Kid Lat's dad's face, it gutted me. It was so, because when you're a dad, you just that kind of stuff, it's very tough for anybody to deal with. And when I watched his eyes, as he's like, yeah, he's like, Joe's arm is broken, he's going to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, I know, I saw it. And we just had that moment where I'm looking at him and he looking at me, and I usually have something to say at every moment, and I had no words. I had nothing. I just looked back at him. And then he drove away, and I felt bad that I couldn't offer him comfort because I was speechless. And that doesn't happen often.
But you shouldn't hit. It's the reality. It's an unfortunate reality, but it's reality. And people need to understand. When I mean people, I mean everybody. Anytime, anybody. It could have happened to us on Saturday. Anytime somebody gets in that ring, anything can happen. And, I tell people all the time, that when you're able to walk back behind the curtain with no real injuries, it was a good night.
Yeah.
Everybody's not, and I mean, like, we know where they train. We know they're trainers. So it's not like they were half-ass trained. And no, they know what they were doing. It's just one of those things that, guess what? Unfortunately, shit happens. There's no such thing. I heard this Tommy Dreamer this morning at 5:00. And he said it. There's no such thing as a perfect match. No such thing.
Yes, you're right about that.
No matter how much you call it, no matter how much you think you got it down, again. So, I'm sure, all we can do is support and be there for that, but you shouldn't feel bad because guess what? I get because I've been there. I've broken my fucking arm on a freak accident. It was my stupid ass accident, but it was a freak accident. But, and what do you say? Is nothing you can say. At that point, you say, okay, all right, you know, you just have to, be strong. Uh, because this is the part, where, let's be honest, the son's gonna want to keep doing this. One of the parents might say, "Are you sure? You got hurt. You like you said earlier, your father. You know, think about it. When he goes and plays volleyball, if he got hurt, then the first thing you're gonna say, "Are you sure you want to go back out there?"
Yeah,
So
I don't think that he'll have that problem because they're as supportive of his journey in wrestling as anybody I've ever seen. That's a compliment to good parenting. When you support your child's dream, much like Cactus does with Hazel, she's 100% behind Hazel and whatever Hazel wants to do, and not every kid has that. Lat's got good parents. They push him in the right direction, and he's his own man, but you're a product of your upbringing, and that's why he is so special because they helped him become that because they didn't put limitations on him. Lad'll be back. He'll be stronger than ever. A couple other observations from Wrestle League.
you
Cactus is
never did say what Russell did.
Russell.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So I have never.
I
So
had somehow buried that in the back of my mind, and you brought it back for me, Red.
So I have never witnessed a rap battle live. I mean, I've
Oh,
certainly seen
God.
8 Mile, and I've seen the shows on TV where they rap against each other, but I've never seen one live. Um, I find Russell to be a talented musician. I think the songs he makes sound like what's popular today.
I
So
thought you were gonna say the songs he makes sound like songs.
well, the sounds, the songs, the stuff that he does is very much 2024. It sounds like the stuff that I hear. I don't like the stuff that I hear, so I can't say that I love it, but I appreciate the effort and I admire the fact that he does this all himself. Um, Same thing with Manchos. They're very good at what they do, but when you're in a ring dropping lyrics at each other, it's surreal. I just sat there, Swole Dixon and I just sat there going, what is happening? But it was very clear that the
Are you
audience,
saying that my son is not the Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart of rap?
I am going to
I
say,
am.
Is this what you're getting at, Steven?
I am.
I'm going to say that I've heard their diss tracks, but when they were face to face in the ring, as much as I would like to root for King JR, Manchos beat him. Manchos was the better rapper. He was the better wrestler. And in the end, Manchos won the rap battle and the wrestling match.
Oh boy.
It didn't help that Russell was dressed in some kind of scuba suit, which the crowd pointed out many times. He looked like he was an extra in Point Break. And then they had the most heinous chants. At one point, they were calling him the Burger King, and that chant was going all the way around. And then they started calling him Whopper Jr. instead of JR. So the crowd was very anti King. I don't think their deal is over at the end of the match after they whipped each other's ass pillar to post. Uh,
Whopper
Russ,
Jr.
Russ put out his hand to shake. Monchos put out his hand to shake. They shook. and then Russ pushed Monchos to the side. So I have a feeling there's still some issues there. Macho,
What?
Well, they're
Because he
gonna have to work
lost?
it out on the remix.
I guess so. There have to be a remix. I certainly am hoping it doesn't get played back, but logic dictates that it probably will.
Whopper Jr.
Macho's went after Brittany quite a few times, so I don't know how that's going to work going down. But
Oh,
then
she's gonna beat him up herself. That's
yes,
fine.
but then they started chanting dog napper. And then Swole on the mic said, "Yeah, I don't know how you date somebody or you take somebody back that stole your dog." I love working with Dixon.
That is a valid point because if Andrew absconded with one of my dogs,
right?
there
Right.
would be hell to pay.
Brittany must be one of the most forgiving humans, although she wasn't feeling very forgiving in that show either. She fought Muscle Mommy Maya Carras. I think Brittany is one of the most talented up and coming performers in our area. She has got it all. She's got confidence, she has got swagger, and she can strike. Muscle Mommy is a freak of fucking nature. Maya Carras is gonna be. You got that vibe when she walked out and that place blew up. She owned that room. In fact, every time I've watched her, you remember when she was at Rocket Pro and did that one off? She owned that room, right? Everywhere she goes, she owns the room. And like we were talking with Andy about, that's a talent. When your presence commands attention and people are in awe of you, and she is built like a brick water closet, that much is certain. But boy, is she a hard striker. So that match was a brawl, and Muscle Mommy won. There was a moment where Maya was getting beat down by Brittany, and you remember how when Hulk Hogan would get his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden he would Hulk up.
Yeah.
That was the shit that happened, man. She was getting hit hard, and she was laughing at it and smiling at it, and then beat the shit out of Brittany. So that was not good for Brittany, good for Maya Carras. Maya Carras now the #1 contender.
No, it's okay. It's okay because Brittany has been used to playing down because her opponents have just not been on her level. It's okay. She's gonna come back.
Oh yeah,
she's gonna come back and she's gonna beat the shit. I was gonna say the snot, but she's gonna beat the shit out of the Muscle Mommy.
that's a bold statement right there. I don't think you know Muscle Mommy like you think you do.
I don't know her at all, and that's fine because I know Brittany.
That's also fair.
That's such a good mother-in-law.
Yeah, way to go, Mom.
I am a very nice mother-in-law. I like my daughter-in-law more than I like my son half the time.
As you should.
He always hugs me first, Russell.
Disown your son. Disown him. He's not worth it.
Whopper Jr.
Maya and Brittany had issues before their match because the opening contest was for the Wrestle League Women's Championship, and it was Mexican Barbie Lulu Lorena taking on Maggie Lee. Now, obviously, Maggie Lee is someone that I know very well from Chicago Style Wrestling, former Dreamwave. I think actually she might be current Dreamwave Women's Champion. Anyway, she's held that belt or is holding that belt. We're doing commentary, and when there's lulls in the audience, you will hear us doing commentary. And I was going over Maggie's match with Shazza and how Maggie has got no fear, will draw blood. She told me to fucking shut up. And then the crowd laughed at me. So now there's just another person out there that hates me that I thought I was cool with. I guess if you're not from this area, like the Iowa people don't like me, and some of the Wisconsin people don't like me, but I was shocked because I've always done a good job calling Maggie's matches, and she just told me to shut up in front of the world. I was like,
well, now do a bad job calling her matches.
Like, Swole, did she just tell me to shut up? And Swole was like, dude, I don't know why all these people want to hate on you all the time. You're good at what you do. So Swole made me feel better, but Maggie made me feel like shit. So she did not win. She lost the opportunity, as Lulu Lorena is still your current Wrestle League champion. And Lulu is moving in the right direction too. She was just at NWA. So the women's division at Wrestle League is really heating up. There was the big match at the end of the show where you had Quinn Whittick and Pestilence taking on Thunder and Lightning, and why am I missing his name right now? It'll come to me. And it was a 6-man winner take all match. The Urban Honor Championship that Wittick holds and the tag team titles that Pestilence holds were up for grabs. So whoever won the match, they got all the belts. And unfortunately, or fortunately for everybody, the villains took the fall this night as Quinn Wittick was beat. He was pinned 1, 2, 3. And he was beaten pretty heavily because he laid in that ring. People thought he was dead. They were trying to pour beer in his mouth to wake him up. He just was dead. But it was a very entertaining match. It was a tables match, and a lot of tables were harmed in the making of that production. But Wrestle League, it's a great show. Lincoln Hall was buzzing and rocking because it was a marriage of hip hop and wrestling. And one of the things that I have learned with this show is that Ewok is one of the great ring announcers of all time. His language is a little blue, but boy, does he get a room going. So book Ewok to be a ring announcer because he was splendid. And he was doing the beats between the matches. So I got to watch the Beat Master the beats. So Wrestle League is, you know what I did? I did one thing that I wanted to tell you about. I challenged Louis the Wrench from the Caribbean Cartel to a match in Homewood on December 21st.
I thought you weren't wrestling anymore.
He pissed me off on commentary because he came on a couple of times and fucked with me. And I said, put your wrench where your mouth is. And then Swole was like, ew. I didn't realize what he was saying until I thought about it later. But yeah, I challenged him. I don't think he's going to accept the challenge because he says like, well, I've seen you wrestle like 3 times. You suck. I'm like, oh yeah, well, let's make it a 4th time and see what happens. So I don't think I'll wrestle, but I challenged him. And if he backs out, I am going to slaughter him on commentary on December 21st. I am going to slaughter him as the coward that he is. Never, ever in my life have I wanted Chris Massenkai to be there more than that night. But that's a story for another time. Great night at Wrestle League, Lincoln Hall. Their next show is December 21st. Homewood at the HF Auditorium, the house the Knockouts built. So
Wait, when is it?
December 21st.
I just said November 21st. I was going to say I won't even be here.
December 21st.
All right. Enunciate, Stephen. Enunciate.
December. Sorry. Not to be confused with the wrestler December, who we always wish well to. Red and I were at Rocket Pro Wrestling this past Saturday night. And it was a very, very incredible show. And we will talk about some of it, but I received a phone call from Rocket Pro ownership, and we have been asked to not speak about certain things. So, Red, as much as we'd like to give our takes on what occurred shortly before intermission, they've asked us very nicely to kindly not talk about that until.
Well, can someone at least put it in the group chat for me?
Yes, we'll tell you when we're done. We'll tell you all about it. But anyway, some great matches that night. The Gunner Brave, Sabin Gage, Davey Bang match is one of the damnedest things I've ever seen in my life. 21,
Shit, are they still going?
21 consecutive Canadian destroyers. 21. We counted it. Can you even picture that in your head?
No.
I don't have to. I was there.
So Gunner Brave wins that match. And for me, it wasn't a matter of any of the wrestlers winning that match. It was the fans that won because to me, that's the Nova Award winner for 2025. That'll win match of the year. There's if another match is going to compete with that one, it had better be Avalon versus Wittick 2. Kevin.
We don't know because we ain't got to the best part yet.
We're going to talk about the best part in a minute. Don't get your head over your skis, sir. Turtle came back and thwarted Maximus Orion. He is not as injured as we thought, and he interrupted Maximus talking bullshit like always, and bashed him with his nunchucks. So that was a fun moment. Rion Skills, who's unable to be here tonight, he and his partner, the Viral Canadian, are now the #1 contenders for the tag team titles. And that's pretty cool. So they will get to face the 3 rings. So that should be spectacular. Strange wrestling makes strange bedfellows, that's for sure. I was moved by the return of Victor Wade, the Ripper. Here's why. Back when I first started out, Victor Wade was a mainstay at Crash Tested Wrestling. And he was always a very cool guy to me. And he was in he was in some great tag teams. He was part of a great group called the Dominion, which James Storm came to Crash Tested and stole their gimmick and put it on TNA with those white masks, if you remember. That was our shit that they took. So he's been out of wrestling for a while. He got married. He had a kid. He hasn't been in the business for a bit. And it was his first match back after a long hiatus. #1, he looked great in the match. He did not end well for him because he decided he wanted to pick a fight with Brutus Owen Wesker, which is a bad career move for everybody. But, it's great to see someone that loved wrestling so much like him come back and, with wife and child in attendance. Hi, Carla. Get back to doing what he loves. And for me, that was a big moment because I know what he's been through and I know it took a long time to get here. So, although it wasn't a highly hyped match on the card, it was a great match and it was great to see him work again. And I hope that he continues to find work at Rocket Pro because we're better with him than without him. And we got to see our old friend, Jamie Olson, former GPW ring announcer. And, if I didn't have to go back to commentary, I might still be hugging her. But it was great to see her after almost a decade. So that was a huge moment for me at the show. Red, what was your favorite moment? Marche had a pretty great match against Mr. Omen. It was pretty electric. And then, after that match was over,
first of all, you fucking it up. It was not just a match. It was a Texas Roadhouse rolls and butter match.
Cactus, do you ever eat at the Texas Roadhouse?
No matter how many times Andrew tries to make me do it.
Don't go there for the steak necessarily. Go for the rolls.
Oh, no, I've had their steak, and that is why I refuse to go.
Yeah, I'm just saying, go for the rolls.
Okay.
Red, tell her about the rolls.
Them son of a bitches is good.
Red was swooning over the rolls.
Well, I do love bread and all of its forms, so maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
I'll eat the bread, he can have the steak.
And you would love the butter. There's the butter. The butter's good too. Here's the thing.
I just finished mine this morning, man.
I'm sure you did. Here's the thing. At one point during their match, I'm the only one talking because I'm the only one without rolls in their mouth. Shelly's eating the rolls. Professor Blackburn's eating the rolls. I think Red had about 5 rolls in his mouth at one time. And I'm like, you guys could be a little more professional. And Red's like, what are you talking about? I'm just eating these rolls.
Hey,
pitiful.
Rolls are to be eaten.
Yes, they eaten. They got. So Marche wins the rolls, and in the polar opposite move of the victim cookie situation, he shares his rolls with the crowd. So everybody got some rolls, and then when they were done giving out the rolls, I said, "Wait a minute, Kevin, give some rolls to the ROTC. It's Veterans Day. By the way, Red, thank you for your service. I see your hat. Did you have a good Veterans Day?
I had to work, so no.
Okay, well, there you go. To all the veterans watching, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. Oh, by the way, I have your coupon.
All right.
We did it again.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So after Marche wins the roles and gives them away, then it was time for an announcement that nobody was ready for. Read, if you please.
So as everybody is standing there, and Big Kev comes out and gives Marche the last of his rolls with the butter. And video plays as far as Marche and who his next opponent is.
At Christmas Chaos, December
At
7th.
December 7th. And the sad part is why you can't never find a picture when you're looking for it. Like, ain't that the most irritating thing in the world? Like, if I wasn't looking for it, then of course
played, and everybody, it's like the world stopped for a moment, as if nobody could believe what they were seeing. And then the music hit and the graphic was revealed, and then the place went to hell in a handcart. Cactus, can you see it? I think Cactus left.
well, she there, but she ain't. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I can't see it.
Okay, can you tell me because I can't.
You got a glare. The glare. It's like all I see is.
All right, well, it's Joe Henry. Joe Henry. Who is it? Joe Henry.
Say his name.
Say it 3 times and he shows up. And I guess somebody.
I believe in Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry will be at Rocket Pro Wrestling on December 7th. It's
I
pretty
didn't believe it.
It's hard to believe. There's a lot of speculation that at a WWE popular event in January, Joe Hendry will be making his jump to WWE. If that is the case, then this might be one of his last local appearances for a while. So the way they have this set up is there's photo ops and autographs from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Yep. And then the doors open at 4 o'clock. So you got to get there early, kids. They only do tickets at the door. You can't buy tickets online. So you got to go to St. Joe's Park the day of the show. The line is going to be long, but it's going to be worth it. And there'll be plenty of seats and plenty of space. Come in, meet Joe Hendry, get an autograph, and then stick around and watch Christmas Chaos as NWA and former TNA superstar All Day Marche Rocket, a friend of our program, will take on TNA superstar, potential future WWE superstar Joe Hendry in the main event of Christmas Chaos. That's pretty fucking impressive. Which means the title match is not going to be the main event. So what a show that's going to be, because
and the question is, we don't even know what the title match is.
We don't know anything about anything. All we know is if the 3 rings are back, then Rion and the viral Canadian Skylar Reed get a chance to become tag team champions. So
and I mean, I don't trust shit Maximus says. Because let's be honest, so the main event, which was supposed to be a 3-way, which was supposed to be against Sam Knight. Whatever, I can't stand his ass. And the wish list, Arthur Fonzarelli.
Damian Gray.
But Maximus was trying to make the announcement earlier. He couldn't. And the announcement was he was putting himself into the match. And of course, Maximus Orion is now the Rocket to the Top briefcase holder.
So he cheated his way in, and the owner of a company has put himself in line to take the strap of the company. How delightfully carny.
But he said he would never cash in on Michael.
Yeah.
So
he also said that he was a hero at Rocket Pro. Maximus Orion has said a great many things. I'm not sure any of it is fucking true.
and we have to mention that so he's confirmed that he's undeniable, and also there is a new inter-county champion.
Jesus
Jesus Jesus Defalacoweco. What is his name?
Aztec Ammunition.
There you go, whatever they calling him. Yeah, he beat Von Jaeger, which
With help.
Did not tell you. I called this lad. I swear I am the new guru of professional wrestling.
Shenanigans.
I told you shenanigans. And so the undeniables have all the titles except the tag team titles.
And I think they're looking for those. So
I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Christmas Chaos, December 7th. Get there early. You'll need to. And it's going to be a hell of a show. Lots of crazy shit's going to happen. Rocket Pro is where dreams come true for many of us. So, don't miss it. We saw Joey Roth confront Roxy Hart. And started to think that Roxy Hart was the problem the whole time. The gold digging bitch.
And Kevin Cade. We can't.
No, he's got a new name now.
Can we call him Kevin Cade now?
No, we can't. No, it's John Bowman now.
John
Bowman, my nuts.
Kevin.
I'm sorry, John Bowman.
Don't that just sound so? He went from Kevin Cade.
It sounds like he's the weak link in the Wyatt family. That's what it sounds like.
John Bowman.
So there a lot of things happened.
Hey, do you think Roxy and Bowman are?
If Joey's lucky, they are, and then he could take her for half her shit. So
okay.
We'd like to see that, but that's neither here nor there. December 7th, next Rocket Pro show, Christmas Chaos, final show of 2024. Usually a really good one. There'll probably be some ugly Christmas sweaters. It's usually a thing. So wear yours.
Are you gonna wear yours?
I always wear mine at these shows. This Friday night, Chicago style wrestling. It's the granddaddy of all shows. Second City Showdown 4. They've got numerals now. So this is like WrestleMania shit. This is the big one for CSW, Chicago Style Wrestling. This is the big event. It used to be our last show of the year, but now we have a December show, so it's the penultimate show of 2024, but still the granddaddy of them all. There'll be inductions into the Hall of Fame. The Twin Turbos go into the Hall of Fame. That's going to be pretty cool. I'm sure there'll be a lot of celebrities out to wish them well as they become royalty in the lore of Chicago style wrestling. The main event is one of those matches that you don't get all the time. The only way for Warhorse and Conan Lycan to settle their shit is in a steel cage. So there is a steel cage match this Friday night in Franklin Park. Goddamn. Every time we have a Second City Showdown, some shit happens that causes people to bleed everywhere. I believe this is one of those matches. Steel cage is unforgiving. The steel cage doesn't care if you're a hate keeper or a land shark. It is unforgiving. And those two men are going to beat each other, and they're going to be alone because it's going to take a lot for the hate keepers and shenanigans to happen inside a steel cage. So Lycan versus Warhorse is your main. Red, how do you see that playing out?
Shenanigans.
Not in a steel cage. Nobody gets in.
How do you figure that, Steven?
Nobody gets in. All right, maybe somebody will get in. I don't know.
Think about who right now, and I wish you luck, but as of right now, who's the GM?
That would be TJ Steele.
Ah.
They're still
So
counting the electoral votes.
So do you really think I mean,
You
I'm
heard that
sure
idiot talk here. Could you
I'm
believe half the shit he said?
of course I didn't, but do you think that I believe that he believes? See, right now, you don't know the results, right?
Right.
The fans don't know
Well,
the
no, we
results.
haven't even. The vote is happening. The vote happens at Second City Showdown. That everybody that walks in that building gets a ballot. So they're going to collect the ballots and they're going to count the votes.
Do you think TJ right now has not? I can see this being TJ already. Good night, son. I love you very much. Okay, one ballot, two
Are you saying he's
ballot.
stuffing the ballot box? Are you saying he's committing voter fraud?
Do you have any way to prove he
No,
does?
I don't. I don't even know how the election is going to work. Like I said, I did my best to put my case out there to become general manager again. It's in the people's hands now. It's in my peers' hands right now. You know, there are plenty of people at Chicago Style that won't vote for me. Joey Avalon and Sierra, they're going to vote for TJ Steele. Apparently, Maggie Lee going to vote for TJ Steele. So there are plenty of people that will vote for TJ Steele. Plus, you know, TJ Steele has you know, he was not wrong that Chicago Style Wrestling has grown under his watch. So there's plenty of reasons to not vote for me, but he shot himself in the ear, and it was the wrong fucking ear. That right there tells you all you need to fucking know about that piece of trash. So
All I'm saying is I see the main event some kind of way that door not being locked like it's supposed to be. And if you don't think that the hate keepers are not going to storm, especially look at the history of Conan. Lycan was a hate keeper, right?
right,
He was the head hate keeper, right? When they first took over, when they first came to CSW, right?
I remember very well.
You were there, you were in charge.
I was.
Who was running it? Conan Lycan.
Suge was running it.
Conan. Suge then became Suge.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
Conan. So Conan used to be the big dog. This is my house. I run this. Now all of a sudden, he's not. He even at once had the title, right?
Yeah.
So do you think the warhorse Jake Parnell is not like, to him, this is going to, in Jake's mind, I'm putting you in your place. You were never in charge. It was always me. I'm the reason why you had the title long as you did. And now I've got the title. Oh, you think you're going to beat me? Come on in, guys.
Yeah. You're probably right. I mean, Conan Lycan's going to have to overcome some odds, but if anybody can overcome the odds, it's Conan Lycan.
Now, what I would like to see is some of the locker room step up. Conan has become a stand-up guy, right?
Right.
So where's the rest of the locker room to stand side by side? How many people are tired of the hate keepers bullshit?
Yeah, that's true. Well, there'll be time to stand and fall, I suppose, as that match ends the show. Other interesting matches that are happening. You've got the Ring of Destiny match. Whoever wins this ring, it's kind of like our Rocket to the Top, you know, Money in the Bank, the Ring of Destiny. You get a shot at the title anytime you want it. And you've got a lot of people in this match. And the rules are quite simple. The Ring of Destiny rules. Over the top. Whoops, I just lost it. Let me get it back. I want to read this right because last time we didn't read it right and we all got confused. So let me get this up here. This is where I miss Rion. Over the top rope battle royal until 4 men remain. The final 4 will then participate in a 4-way elimination. The sole survivor earns a CSW championship opportunity at a date of their choosing. It's the Ring of Destiny. And you want to talk about competition. Ryan Matthews, Eric Schultz, Eddie Grayson and Jack Valor. I combined them for a moment. Jax Johnson, Shane Boucher, Bruce Hamilton, FXB, Jay Marston, Chris Miller, Shug Hollister, Solomon Tupu, Steve Boz, and All Day. Who wins this match? B-O-Z.
No.
All Day?
No.
Who? Who?
The only cat that's got just as much swag as I do.
Who?
Tupu. Uncle T.
You want Uncle T? That's a good call. Uncle T could do it. I find it very difficult to ever pick against Marche Rocket because Marche Rocket can beat any man, anytime, any place, in any circumstance.
I do, and I get that, but
And the BOZ's been on a bit of a losing streak.
if everybody is smart, wouldn't it be smart? Soon as the bell rings,
Go get him.
go get him.
To me,
And Marche is so tall that once you put him halfway over the top, he's done.
I think the numbers game will get the best of Marche because I think everybody knows that if they don't get Marche Rocket out, it's Marche's win to collect. To me, the wild card in this match, and it might not be everybody's pick, but I can see it happening because of who it is. But I don't know who eliminates Bruce Hamilton.
Oh, Bruce is a big.
You know, Bruce is one of the few people in that match that would stand toe to toe with Marche Rocket and not blink. So,
God forbid if 2 of the 4 left is Marche and Bruce. Ooh, I'm gonna pick the 4.
all right,
Marche, Bruce, Tupu, Uncle T. And just because of shenanigans, should.
so what do you think? Are you thinking Shug is gonna win? Is gonna shenanigan it, and he's gonna get a shot at maybe taking down?
I'm gonna say they're gonna be the final 4.
Okay,
My final 4 pick.
I'm going with Marche, Bruce, Boz, and somehow, some way, Schultz. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. Schultz just finds a way, like a cockroach in a thunderstorm, finds a way to hang on for dear life and ends up in the finals.
You know why I won't pick Schultz?
Why?
Any guy that can sit around his house and be dazzled, suspenders.
Yeah.
Like, dude, 1980 is calling. They want their infomercial back.
Cactus, are you still with us?
I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth, yes.
All right. Who do you think wins the Ring of Destiny?
Who's in it?
We've got a lot of people in it. Hollister, Grayson and Valor, FXB, Chris Miller, Marston and Boucher, Bruce Hamilton, Ryan Matthews, Eric Schultz, Steve Boz, Marche Rocket, and Tupu.
Eric Schultz is going to pull some shit, I agree.
Bedazzled wins, Red. She's got you.
I will set them suspenders on fire.
Yes, he will. All right, let's quickly run
Let
through
me
this.
let me like pull them all the way out and snap them back first.
Okay.
That would be great. You do that on your TikTok just for soothing purposes.
He works up the street for me. I like, hey, meet me on Michigan Avenue. Not tell him that I'm gonna beat him up.
That's fair.
Although if he watches, he'll know. But
I'd like to film that, but that's neither here nor there. Other matches that are happening. You've got a match between Sierra and Lily La Pescadita Ruiz, two of the baddest women on the planet. NWA superstar Lily La Pescadita and all-world PWI top 500, well-traveled, well-championed Sierra. Damn. I'm having a hard time picking this one. What say you, Red?
Lily.
Cactus?
it'll always be Sierra for me, and I love Lily.
Lily is such a badass and she is rolling, but I don't think there are many people, man or woman, that can beat Sierra. So I got to go with Sierra. In the match of two people that hate my guts, you've got Joey Jet Avalon taking on Maggie Lee. You want to see a dead body? How does this work? Red, what say you?
I'm not trying to be sexist or chauvinist. Joey.
Cactus Rack?
Joey.
I am going to pick Maggie, not because I don't think Joey can win, but I don't know if Joey's head is clear after how he lost the titles last month by his own hand to the Clowns. So the dust in that balloon, whatever he breathed in, I don't know if Joey Avalon is 100% going into this match. And Maggie Lee is very opportunistic and is lightning fast. So if Joey catches her and puts the shovel to her, it's all academic. But Maggie Lee is very smart, very quick. So I think I see Maggie somehow pulling this one out, but you just never know. That's why we play the game. Another match, we've got Bad Mood or Big Mood, however you want to call them, Moody and Mateo, taking on America's favorite tag team, Adam Stallion and Cypher. And I imagine that the winner of this is probably going to get a shot at the tag team titles.
Stallion and Cypher.
I too believe Stallion and Cypher win. What about you, Cactus?
Who is it? Bad Mood? Big Mood?
Big Mood, Bad Mood versus Cypher and Stallion.
I'm going with Big Mood.
Oh, very, very interesting. All right. Well, we've got that. The tag team titles are on the line. The new tag team champions, the Brothers of Funstruction, taking on the tag team that nobody knew they needed until they showed up together in Doom Montgomery and Axel Rico.
The Brothers.
Cactus?
Who was it again?
The Brothers of Funstruction taking on Axel Rico and Doom Montgomery.
Axel Rico and Doom Montgomery.
I too pick Axel and Doom, not because I don't think that the brothers can win, but there's just something about the energy between those two hooligans that is very interesting. I think strange things will be afoot at Franklin Park this Friday night. The women's championship will be on the line as Missa Kate takes on Amina Belmont. The Phoenix Princess taking on Chicago's Sweetheart. Red?
Missa.
Cactus Rack.
Amina Belmont.
Amina Belmont might be my pick, but there's just something sinister below the surface about where Missa Kate's at right now. We've been watching it unfold for many months now. I feel like Amina Belmont's wrong place, wrong time. I think Missa retains. In a match that might be match of the night. And if you can be match of the night when you're up against the Ring of Destiny tournament and you're up against the steel cage match, then you better be lit. But this is a showdown people have been waiting for a long time. The continuing saga of Quintero versus Iniestra. When these two get together, throw caution to the wind. It's going to be violent. It's going to be high flying. It's going to be ridiculous. But in the end, the diamond in the rough gets it done. Red?
Iniesta.
Ooh, picking the former brass member. Interesting call. What about you, Cactus?
I'm still on the Quintero train.
Yeah, Quintero is a bad, bad man, and he is on a roll right now. But you talk about two people being evenly matched in a Metro Division match. I don't think we've ever seen two more similar athletes that can match each other step for step. That is going to be a joy to watch, and I'm sure it's going to be a pillar of IWTV. And then there is a scramble match. Of course, there's a scramble match. There are scramble matches every month. But this one is especially interesting because we've got some of the young talent and some old friends coming back into the fray. We've got the Lizard Man, Nathan Nile, who popped David Arquette at NWA like I've never seen that man popped. It was amazing. And 12 gauge, KJ Carter, Benjamin Trust, Joey Pearson, and the return of JJ Garrett. Red, what say you?
Garrett.
I too picked JJ Garrett. We are happy to have him back. What about you, Cactus?
Lizard Man.
Ooh, the Lizard Man. That would be my pick if Garrett wasn't in this match. But Garrett's a bad, bad man. So there you have it. There is Second City Showdown 4. Hall of Fame, an election, steel cage match, Ring of Destiny match, title matches. I mean, it gets no bigger or better than this. We should start it earlier or it's going to go till midnight. I have to go to Frontline in the morning too. So this show could easily tap out at 11:30. There's that much to do. Jason Hades has his work cut out for him. Friday night, Franklin Park. Get your tickets because this thing is going to sell out pretty quickly. All right, that brings us to this Saturday at the HF Auditorium. And there's no place I'd rather be unless I get a chance to interview Kurt Angle. I'll be honest. I am sad that I don't get to see this, but I can't miss Kurt. But if I was going to miss Kurt, it would only be for my knockouts. And you've got the red and the green mixing it up in the semifinals to take a shot at the Punk Rock Punishers in the finals. Cactus, tell us how this breaks down.
It's a little disjointed right now. We had a whole month lost because of FEMA taking over the auditorium, so we're just getting back into the swing of things, and I think right now it's pretty evenly matched. It's pretty evenly matched.
And if I remember correctly, you're green.
No, I'm red.
Oh, you're red, like in the outfit you're wearing right now.
Yes, I am red. I will be Cactus Rack. The green is my second team, so under normal circumstances, that is where I'd be. But I am going to be on red. Actually, we had the same bout. The same teams were in the championship last season. Actually, November of last year was a bout between the same teams. Our season got pushed back a little bit, so this time
this is a rematch of last year's finals.
Yes, this is basically a rematch. I guess we'll see what happens. There's a lot of different things at play. I will be on the red team. Last year, I was coaching the green. I was still coming back from my back issues. Juice is not going to be playing on the green. Juice is going to be bench coaching. So there are so many differences this time around. It's going to be a completely different game this time.
The Haunters are going to have to overcome a lot of adversity if they're going to repeat.
Agreed. Agreed.
What are some of the matchups that you're looking forward to seeing?
In terms of jammers
Yeah,
or
let's start with the jammers.
I'm interested to see Marley against Punchy. Marley and Punchy are on opposite teams this time.
Oh, when two clowns are at odds, that's not good.
Yes. Marley is on red with me and Punchy is on green. I'm also interested to see I don't know. I'm wondering who their main jammers are going to be if Juice is not going to be playing, because Juice is a main jammer. So it's going to be very different. It's kind of hard to tell you what matchups I'm looking forward to, because I really don't know right now what the dynamic is going to be on the green team. I think people that don't normally jam are going to be jamming.
You think Ricky Ricochet will be a jammer? Will she
I'm
be?
sure she will be. I don't know if she's going to be a main jammer. She's probably going to be a relief jammer, but it's very likely that she will be jamming.
She is one tough customer, that Ricky Ricochet. Where is Grumpy a haunter or a rumble?
Grumpy is a haunter.
Oh, so it's what kind of character does Grumpy Bear have in green?
Scare Bear.
Scare
I
Bear.
think
Makes sense.
I want to say I keep wanting to say Scary Berry, but it's Scare Bear.
I'm interested in how she does, because we're all making plans to see My Chemical Romance.
Yes. I think I'm going to take Hazel to that. So I think
That
that's going to be her first concert.
I have to see Black Parade performed live one time before I die. I
Agreed.
was never a hardcore My Chemical Romance fan until the Black Parade album came out. That album is a fucking masterpiece.
I'm sure Hazel would agree with you. I personally have never been a big My Chemical Romance person. Like, I get the appeal and I'll bop along to it, but I don't search them out.
Are you saying it's no Chapel Roan?
I am saying it's no Chaperone. And
Even
I'm
when
sure
Chapel Roan
I'm
does
sure
country?
Gerard Way would say they're no Chaperone too.
Even
So
when Chapel Roan's doing country?
yeah, I love country. I love real country.
Yeah.
I love real country.
What's real country, Cactus?
Dolly Parton is real country.
That is real country. What about Kenny Rogers? Is he real country?
I'm not super familiar.
Islands in the Stream?
I'm not super familiar.
You don't know Islands in the Stream?
I know Islands in the Stream, but I don't go out and listen to Kenny Rogers.
You don't know The Gambler?
No,
You don't know The Gambler? How do you not know The Gambler?
I just don't.
One of the
See,
great
I grew up in a
songs ever
strict no
made.
country household.
You
Okay,
gotta know when to hold,
no country, not even Jimmy
know when to
Cash
fold.
or
All right,
Johnny
here's your
Cash.
homework assignment. You
No.
go,
Johnny Cash was not allowed in the house I grew up in. So
you find a streaming service that has six pack.
So much.
Okay.
You watch that show.
Like sitting that
but
stage.
I will be on red. I will be Cactus Rack. I will be in the assless chaps. And someone likes to be snippy whenever I post about it and be like, all chaps are assless. Yes, duh. I am drawing attention to the fact that my ass is going to be out.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Thank you, Red.
Other brothers can't deny.
So what you're saying is there's going to be a full moon over Homewood on Saturday.
There sure will be.
And of course, the after party is at America's favorite watering hole, Rabid Brewing.
Yes.
Who wins? Don't be biased because you're red.
I'm not biased because my main team isn't in it, so I don't really care either way. But I think red has a good chance this time, largely because of my presence. Thank you very much. But red has never won a title bout. So
this is
red
big.
has never really even come close. So I think there's going to be a lot to prove this weekend either way.
Is Euro skating?
No, Euro is, I believe, going to be an NSO, a non-skating official. She's bringing back her Dina discipline from Windy City Rollers. So
That just
yes,
sounds
before
good.
Judgment Dave, there was a Dina discipline.
That's perfect. That is the perfect couple always.
Yes.
That's funny. At least I won't get headbutted this particular month.
Yes.
That was a bad call on my part. Very hard head. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be packed. People are missing the knockouts. They're going to fall over themselves. You're going to have to turn people away.
I hope so.
How
Fingers
can they get
crossed.
tickets? How can they get tickets?
They can get tickets by going to chicagonknockouts.com. We do, in fact, have a website. Go to chicagonknockouts.com or go to Facebook. Go to Chicago Knockouts Roller Derby on Facebook and find our events, and the information will be in the events. Or you can buy tickets at the door.
There you have it.
There is
Yeah.
no upcharge for handicap accessible seating, so don't worry about that. You pay regular base price.
Plenty of great seats still available at the Knockout Dome in Homewood. It'll be a great event. I would be there if I wasn't going to be in Wisconsin. So break a leg, have a great show, Cactus.
I mean, don't tell me to break a leg because I got my leg fucked up on Sunday at practice. So don't.
That is a good luck innuendo.
Not in roller derby, it is not.
All right, then smash your helmet.
Okay, yeah, I'll smash my helmet.
That's all I have. That's all I got.
Okay.
Next week on this program, we will welcome back someone we haven't had on the show in a while. And the timing is good because Super Wrestlers is coming before too long. We're going to have the one known as USA Hole,
The Canadian?
the Canadian,
Okay.
the Lumberjack, Braun the Lumberjack, USA Hole, whatever you'd like to call him. He will be our guest on this show next week. And it's great to have him. He is a encyclopedia of wrestling, and he will give us lots of interesting things to talk about, I'm sure. So don't miss it. It'll be this week or it'll be next week. Thanks for watching. Go check out all these great shows. Thanks to Annie for being a tremendous guest. We love her. We'll have her back on again soon. Thanks to C Red for battling through a bad tooth. I appreciate you. And thank you for your service, sir.
Wow.
And then, of course, from fighting traffic and fighting dragons, thank you, Cactus Rack. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
We will see you next week on the Power Hour. Hello to Rion, wherever he might be. And Kid Lat, get well soon. Good night, everybody.